Hello, my name is Brittany Duffy, and my project is on concept orientation. I work at the Educational Resource Center, which is 116 Allen Hall, but I am in my master's to be an intervention specialist. As I said, this project is on concept orientation. I decided on this because it is something I had never heard of before, and I wanted to understand what it was, or what it meant, and how it could help students. I found that concept orientation is about helping students with comprehension, specifically with reading and science. The grade levels that this is used for is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades, normally, but it can be modified to used in the upper grade levels as well. The tool is used with multiple steps to assist students from the beginning to the end of books, and it helps by keeping the students engaged. They do this by asking questions, again from the beginning to the end, and summarizing when they are done reading the book. Before reading the book, the first step of concept orientation is having the student use their background knowledge to connect to the book. This means showing them the front of the book or the picture, and then asking them what they think about it. They immediately start going through their background information or knowledge to think about what they think the book will be about. For instance, if there is a girl on the front of the book and she is in a lot of metal and she's carrying a sword, the first they might think, okay, what do I know about girls? Second, they might think, okay, what do I know about knights? And is this girl a knight? So they immediately go into their background knowledge to try and figure out what they think the book will be about and how it goes about that. And this helps them remember more about what the book is about by accessing their background knowledge, not just in the beginning, but throughout the book. After that, they start reading the book, and the teacher asks questions. And the students will answer those questions, but the students will also be asking questions as well. So it's not just the teacher asking questions, but the students asking themselves questions and answering those questions. Asking questions of what they think will happen next, or what something is, or what they think a character will do. So all of this helps them comprehend what the book is about, because they are consciously thinking, and hopefully eventually subconsciously thinking about the book and questioning the book and finding the answers to those questions, which will help them remember more of the book later. As they get more into the book, usually maybe in the middle of the book, they will start to research a subset of the book. So for example, if they're reading a book about Native Americans, the students might do a research project on a tribe. So you might have one student doing the Miami tribe and one student doing a research project on the Shawnee tribe. Or you might have a group of students. So you have one group of students doing the Miami tribe and one group of students doing the Shawnee tribe. So with this, they learn even more than they possibly could with just reading the book. They really go in depth about what the book is about and learning what's inside of the book, researching and going through it. And again, this helps them with comprehension. They might do something more specifically. So instead of doing different tribes, doing different religions, the different religions of the tribes. So again, it's more in depth about what they're reading, and it's great with comprehension. Then when students finish the book, they do a summary of the book. Now, this shows the teacher, it shows what they're able to remember, what they were able to comprehend. They go about thinking about the book again and again, trying to get it down on paper, summarizing it. And they also, another step is drawing a picture of what the book is about. Maybe they might draw a map, they might draw a person, they might draw an animal, just anything, and it helps them think of the book. Or maybe they draw something that's specific in a specific part of a book. of the book. Or, I mean, they can even do drawings while they're reading of what different people look like, what different objects look like. And again, it helps them remember, it helps them go over and think about it and think about what they're reading, and goes through that process. Now, this can be used not only for fiction books, nonfiction books, but informational books, textbooks. Instead of summarizing the book, though, you might have them summarize a chapter or draw something that's important to that chapter. You might ask them questions about that chapter. So especially if it's a textbook, you'd go through it chapter by chapter, and you'll ask questions, ask them to access their background knowledge, ask them to draw a picture of what they think it's about, ask them to do a summary of what they remember, and they really, like I said, get in-depth knowledge on that, what chapter is about, and really get to know and learn. Now again, here are some examples of the questions a teacher might ask, or of questions students might ask while they're reading the book. So it could be, what do you think will happen next? What do you think, why do you think the character did this or did that? Why do you think the author put this in there? Why do you think the character did that? So it's going through these questions, and they can be specific or they can be general, and making sure the students are thinking about what maybe a character is doing, what the author is doing, or in the textbook, why did we do this? You know, why did America do this at this time? It's asking questions, and they're gaining knowledge from it. They're learning from it. They're going through it. This tool is also about motivation and engagement practices. So the questions are good engagement because they keep going through it, they keep answering the questions, they have to pay attention. But some of these practices also are setting up partnerships and teams. So students you might have them get a partner, and they're reading aloud to each other. They're going over questions with each other. So that might keep them motivated and engaged as well. They might you might provide productive choices. So maybe you can ask, okay, students, you can choose whether you want to draw about this chapter or summarize the chapter. So they get a choice of what they want to do. They don't just have to do this and this one thing only. They're getting a choice. Encouraging reading values is also really good. Praising them when they're getting through the chapters. There's also cognitive strategies to this, which include higher order of reading skills, improve students' informational text comprehension, and providing strategy instruction in subject matters. So all of this goes into concept orientation. I have a little demonstration here, and this is an exaggeration of what the concept orientation will look like, but you have the background knowledge, the questions, the answers, the visual, and the summary. And so in this part, I did the first test, Protector of the Small, which is a young adult book. And again, this is a huge exaggeration from beginning to end. And so in the beginning, my background knowledge, you see the picture, and it's this girl on the front. And she's kind of wearing clothes that you would wear in older times. So I immediately look into my background knowledge of, okay, it's a girl. What do I know about girls? And then, okay, what time period is this? And what do I know about this time period? What were they doing back then? So like I said, immediately you're going on to your background knowledge of what you know to figure out what the book is about. One question while I was reading this book, and again, this is when I read it a while ago, I asked, what is a spiderin? In the beginning, you're presented with this word spiderin, and I had no idea what it was. Had nothing to tell me, or no background knowledge even to think, what could this possibly be? So as I read it, I found that a spiderin is a monster that has a body of a spider but a head of a human. So it's a monster about 5 feet tall, depending on the age of the spiderin. It has this huge body of the spider but head of the human, and you find out that it eats like a spider would eat. So it has very sharp teeth, and it will suck the blood of animals or people, whatever it caught in its giant web at that time. So then I have a picture here of what a spider might look like. And then I have a summary. And my summary of the book is about a 10-year-old girl who wants to become a knight. She is the first girl to go to school to become a knight and faces a lot of obstacles from men who think women should not be knights and monsters like spiderins. So again, this is an exaggeration of what concept orientation looks like. But you can tell from my summary that I understood what the book was about, and I put in some key points of what the girl went through in the book. She faced obstacles. She wanted to be a knight. She was facing obstacles from many different areas. I had a question that I answered and drew a visual of, and in the beginning I was accessing background knowledge. Now, this would be done throughout the book, and like I said, this is just an exaggeration from beginning to end. So my summary: concept orientation is a tool used usually in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade classrooms. It helps with students with comprehension of any type of books, whether it be fiction, nonfiction, or expository books. It is a tool that can be used from the beginning to the end of books with questions, engagement, and visuals that students can make. Students can make the questions and the visuals that helps them remember what the book is about. Concept orientation uses all the senses to reach as many students as possible. For example, oral responses, written responses, and visual responses can all be used to help different kinds of students in many different ways. And this goes across the different learning styles. So if one student learns better orally, hearing it, then you can have the teacher reading part of the book, you can have them reading aloud part of the book, you can have the class take turns reading aloud part of the book, so that then they remember more because they're orally hearing it. Or written responses, so they're reading the book and they're writing about it. So maybe if they write something down, then that helps them remember more. So they're writing summaries, they're writing questions and answers. Or maybe visuals help the student more to remember the book. So they're drawing, and they're drawing about what the book is about and important parts in the book. So it goes through all of many different senses to help as many students as possible. All right, thank you.